Hey family, God bless you. Welcome to Bible Nuggets with Pastor Bob and Sonia Rice. We're glad to have you here today. I know that every time we open up God's Word, we're going to learn something and we're going to dig and mine for those nuggets. We do it in such a way, we go verse by verse and expose the text, and we allow for God to serendipitously guide us through His Word and to mine those nuggets. The first lesson of the day is to take this, your index finger. This is God's smashing tool. Smash the subscribe button. Smash the like button if you're blessed, and smash the notification bell that it might help us to get this gospel out to more and more people. God bless you, and let's go forth with Bible Nuggets. Because another thing that's very important to understand is everybody gets married for something. Unfortunately, now marriage is only a service. That's what we say. But the reality is, we don't just do things because that's the way it's supposed to be. We do things for a payoff.
Right, for a reward.
Okay, if we behave well, we want a reward. Okay, we want a paycheck after hard weeks of work and you've got to find out what your spouse's payoff is, and you got to pay them. Okay, and you need to figure that out. Well, you might say, well, my spouse, I don't think they need anything, I'm gonna get. No, they get a pay, and you may be paying them off and not knowing, but it would be better if you knew what that payoff was, so that you can be on purpose all the time. Okay, it may be sex, it may be words. Okay, it may be physical touch, it may be gifts, it may be just those love language, quality time. It may be money, okay, and a lifestyle and security, and it may be admiration, especially for a man. It may be trips or furs or clothes or whatever, something that really rings the bell.
Rings their bell.
Yeah, it rings their bell. That's
their
right.
Bell,
because that's
bell.
right. You can't pay somebody in your currency. Okay, because everybody doesn't receive every currency. Okay, if I give my wife $1,000, okay, that's not gonna mean a lot to her. Strangely enough, if she gives me $1,000, I'm gonna be quite obliged. But the other way, because $1,000 doesn't mean as much as the thought behind a well purchased, thoughtful gift that had my sentiments wrapped up in it, and an understanding of her needs. And I think that we find that oftentimes with women that some would do just fine with $1,000, but you just need to know that about your wife. And everybody's built different. All women are not the same. All men are not the same. We all come from different backgrounds, had different experiences. We all think that certain things are cool, and even at different points in your life, you change. So what may work as a youngster may not work when you get older. It's like sometimes they might say, hey, I don't want to go on the vacation. I don't want to take the cruise anymore. I've outgrown cruises. I want to get some money in the bank for retirement. That might be, things change over time, and so we just need to understand their payoff and do our best to give it to them. And if we can keep the negativity down and keep the payoff, coming consistently, it makes for a good scenario. Okay, and you add a little heat to that thing, a little romantic heat. You know, things work out well for everybody, because that's a payday for everybody. You know, because romance is different for different people, and it may be flowers for one person, it may be more sexual for another person. You just need to know what that is, and make sure that everybody's satisfied, and and then you need to have, everybody needs to have reasonable expectations.
Reasonable expectations.
Right, because when nobody is perfect, and nobody can do everything for anybody.
Nobody can do everything for anybody.
Right, right. You can do some things for everybody.
Something for everybody.
Okay, but you can't do everything for anybody. See, you can't be everything for anybody. Okay, that's beyond your capacity. You know, God has to be in their life and fill certain roles. They need to have some friends that fill other parts of their roles, and family may fill another part of their role. And but if all the pressure is on one person to fulfill everything in their life, you know, some things you have to do for yourself, you know, and some things the spouse should be glad to do as part of their service to you. But nobody can be all things to anybody. They'll always fail, and you'll set them up for failure. And if too many demands come without payoff, people will be like, hey, you know, why even try? And they give up. If you, every time they try, they're not rewarded. And when I say rewarded, it might just be like, hey, I appreciated that. You know, that really hit home. You know, they hit the spot. Thanks. And great payday. Thank you so much. You know, just to let them know that what you did worked, because there is going to be a time when they complain. Okay, and if they get 10 complaints, okay, and one compliment, and one negativity equals 10 or 20 positivities. Okay, you're at 100 to 1.
Wow.
You see, quick, you know, and that brings, and nobody wants to be a loser. And nobody's trying to be a loser. Okay, and so you have to help your spouse be a winner.
Be a winner.
Okay, because nobody's trying to lose. Okay, nobody wants to be sorry at what they're doing, you know, and so you have to help them be a winner, and you can do it. And sometimes it's just a matter of communication. Sometimes frustration is just a matter of you've never told people what you want. You know, and people are bad guessers. Well, they should know. I hear that all the time. I shouldn't have to tell you. Oh, man, you didn't marry God. You didn't get. God is there, and He's part. He knows. Okay, God is on it. Okay, He knows exactly what it is you want. If you married a human, they need to hear it. Okay, because, and especially a man, because a man's emotional IQ, this may be a 30 or 40-year-old man, but a 12-year-old girl may have a higher emotional quotient than a 40-year-old man, as far as women's rules, their basic tendencies, and because we are brought up separately. We play separately, okay? And boys' rules and girls' rules are just different. And I never played with the girls growing up, you know, and we played differently. And so you guys are at advantage because you played with other girls, and you know how girls play.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you know the rules. Because if you don't know the rules as a girl, you'll be ostracized from all the girls. Okay? And the boys' rules are just simple. You know, you just do stuff together. As long as you're there, you're in. Okay? And so you'll find that if you put two people in a room and you give them a chair and you say, hey, have a discussion with each other, okay, a folding chair, something that's easy to carry, women will orient their chairs facing each other. Men will orient their chairs like these chairs, facing ahead. Okay, something like 90% of the time, women will turn chairs face to face. Okay, and men will turn their chairs facing forward. That's because men relate to each other based on what's in front of them, the game, the hunt, the fish in the pond. Okay, whatever they're doing, okay, they're doing it together. Okay, but is that which is in front of them is they're doing the task. So in the home, okay, hey, we're together. As long as we're at home together, we're doing life, we're doing family together, it's fine. But a woman needs for a man to orient her chair and give her undivided attention. Men don't need undivided attention. Men just need an activity to do together. Okay? And for them, marriage is the activity. Okay? And as long as we're okay and we're doing the activity, the man is satisfied. Okay, the woman needs more. She needs face-to-face attention, emotional connection. You know, and so it's just important to give. And then, brother, once you give her enough, then you can turn your chair the other way. You can watch the game together or whatever. You know. And because I've seen many times, they say, hey, we're together all the time. We're watching TV, we're talking to the kids or whatever. No, that's not how women are like this. Men are like that. And we need to understand those things about each other. Yeah.
One thing I just noticed is how quickly Adam fell in love with Eve. I mean, it was immediate.
Love at first sight.
Love at first sight.
It'll take a long time to make a decision. Okay, it is boom. You know, once you know, and you make a decision, and that's what it has. He was overwhelmed with her beauty and with God's provision. He had set this thing up with the animals, so then when it was his, it was like ding ding ding, all the bells went off, and then you end chapter 2 with verse 25, which is a snapshot of their relationship, which gives us God's purpose for the marital relationship. And it goes like this.
Adam and his wife were both naked and they felt no shame.
Yeah, and that's what God is looking for. We call that intimacy.
Intimacy. Naked and not ashamed.
Naked and not ashamed. So what's nakedness? And when you hear that, I mean, you have the obvious no clothes, but when you hear the word nakedness, what do you think as far as emotional nakedness?
I guess nothing hidden. You can see everything. You can see my scars. You can see the good. You can see the bad. It's total intimacy. It's,
Yeah. And both people can be who they are. They can be themselves without putting on any airs and be fully accepted by the other person. And the enemy of intimacy is criticism.
Criticism. Wow.
Yeah. So as soon as I get naked and you say, "Ew," okay, guess what? Putting the clothes back on. You see, and you're now all of a sudden you've lost the intimacy.
Wow.
So we need to be very careful
Very
and
careful.
sparing with the criticism, because it's a huge way to lose trust with the other person, because it says to them, I'm not good enough. And people have heard that enough in life. And so you're protecting her heart, and that, I mean, she's protecting the man's heart in that way. He's protecting her heart by his verbals and by keeping down the criticism. You know, the food is nasty. Ooh, you don't, you're putting on too many pounds, or just the criticism that.
And it could be criticism that you think is innocent.
Yeah,
like you don't
yeah,
cook
yeah.
as well as my mom.
Right,
or
right.
something like
Yeah,
that.
it could be anything like that. It's just you're not thinking anything of it, and you just shut it down, and you're not. You notice that they're not talking to you as much or whatever, and you ask them, what's wrong? Nothing. But they're on the inside, they've been devastated by criticism that sometimes we don't even know that we've made. You know, maybe you didn't say anything. It's what you did. You know, you didn't eat all your dinner, or and so it must not have been good. And you didn't say anything, but they got the message. Okay, and if you don't say, oh, you look sharp. Okay, so maybe I don't look sharp. They didn't say anything, so I must not look sharp. I might not be attractive to them anymore, and that devastates trust in the relationship. And trust is everything. It's how people get paid, and they were naked, the man and the woman, because they were not ashamed. The reason why they were not ashamed also is because they weren't in the equation. We're going to find out here in the next chapter that Adam knew Eve was naked, and Eve knew Adam was naked, but they didn't know that they were naked. They had to be told they were naked.
Wow.
And so God, when he sees them after they eat of the fruit, and they said, we were naked and we hid ourselves. And God's reply was, who told you you were naked?
Wow.
They didn't, because they were not preoccupied with themselves.
Wow.
And that's the first thing that sin does. It gets you preoccupied with you. And so they were in the garden, totally enthralled with each other, exposed and loving what they saw in each other without any consideration of themselves.
Wow.
Okay, and just serving one another, and this was paradise. Intimacy paradise. And that's God's goal for our marriages, is to create a unit of one, a management team that's so in sync that they can know everything about each other and value their differences and their strengths. But he doesn't do it like I would do it. She doesn't do it like I would do it. Well, if you both did everything exactly the same, one of you would be unnecessary. You see, he doesn't need a team if you both the same. You're put together because you both are bringing things to the table, and all those things need to be appreciated. But there's two sides to every coin, okay? There's part of us that's the wise head of the coin. And then there's the butt part, and the tail part of all of us. All of us can be, we can be tail feathers. And if the truth is told, and so you have to accept the negative tail side while you're admiring the head side of everything. And that's just part of, marriage is for partners that's looking to progress, that's looking to sees weaknesses in themselves and know that the other person can bring something to the table to help be better Okay, marriage is not for children. Marriage is for people. It's for the entrepreneur. Okay, for people who are ready to go on an adventure and step out there and go through hard times and struggle through the difficulties that are bound to happen. Just like an entrepreneur steps out with a business not knowing, they just have an idea, and they're willing to go through whatever it takes to make that thing profitable. And and it's not for emotional children, okay? For people who don't want to discipline themselves, and for people who don't want to hear any feedback or anything of that nature. You need to be have some reasonable maturity about you, and are willing to go through some hard times and put up with a good measure of mess. To be honest, because you're going to get it.
That's reality.
Yeah, yeah. It's just how it is. If we all know that nobody's perfect, we say it all the time, don't we? Nobody's perfect. Well, if you marry somebody that's not perfect, and you're in close proximity, most of their mistakes are going to be made against you.
Wow.
Because you're close. So you're going to get the imperfections. You need to just be, if that's your expectation, okay, man, you can deal with it. But if you have this fairy tale expectations because of what you think you see over across the way with somebody else's relationship that you only see a small smidgen of on an occasion, okay, when they're on their best behavior, okay, and you're making judgments and evaluations, okay, based on on the snippet that you see, okay, man, you're setting yourself up for a rougher ride than needs to be.
Wow.
So yeah, there are many marriage tips here, and so next time I guess we'll dive into one of the most significant aspects of the human experience. The most you probably have the top 5 infamous events in human history. This is number 1, the fall of Adam, because everything else happens because of this. Okay, you had the fall, you had the flood, you had the cross. Okay, huge tragedy. You have the tribulation. Okay, you have the great white throne judgment. And those are those are maybe the top 6 terrors of the Bible, and we need to dive into it, because you cannot understand yourself without understanding the implications of the fall. Yourself or those around you in the world you live in. A lot of questions that people think are profound, they're very simple questions when you understand the fall. Like, how come bad things happen to good people? That's a simple question. Okay, you live in a fallen world. Okay, there was paradise. This earth is now de-paradised on purpose by God. Okay, and you can't change it. There is no utopia that man can enact. We are in a fallen world, de-paradised by God, and the de-paradisation of the world cannot be reversed by singing a chorus of Imagine. Okay, and And the things that happen, whether it be disasters natural or caused by man, okay, are here because Adam fell.
Wow.
Okay? We had paradise and it was lost. Okay? But it's coming back, but it's not now. This world you live in, you will not experience it in this life that you live in now. Now we have a challenge that we have to live through. Okay? And it's because of the fall. And we'll deal with that. Many separations happen with one bite of fruit or two bites of fruit, however you want to look at it. And so we'll do that on next time.
Amen.
All right.
Amen. God bless you, family. Have a great day.
God bless you.
Live well, live right, and live forever.
Yes. Well, family, I trust you are blessed. That was a lot of fun. God bless you all. Remember to take that finger and smash the subscribe button, notification bell, and if you liked it, smash like. You didn't have to love it. Just if you liked it, just hit that like button so that we can spread this message all around the world. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.